Charles County, Maryland is home to a pair of nesting bald eagles, Chandler and Hope. They're named after a historic landmark in the area, Chandler's Hope, which was built by Job Chandler in the 1600s. He was the first European settler of Charles County and built his estate with the help of the indigenous people of the Potomac tribe. In 2023, the pair of eagles fledged 3 eaglets, which was a great comeback after 2021 when they laid 2 eggs and sadly none made it. There's a platform for viewing the eagles as they soar in the skies above. The park even has 2 viewers, one for adults and one for kids, with a platform for them to step up onto for easy viewing. So we just finished the loop, which is kind of at the end of this trail.
And then it kind of wraps back around and heads back the same way we came. Ran across several people fishing on the bank.
And so we think we may have seen where the eagle's nest is kind of close to, because when you look at the eagle cam, there's a building. And we think we saw the building kind of that way. So maybe the eagles are there, and we saw some eagles and eaglets flying. The eaglets are now branching, which means that they hop onto branches. They're kind of testing their wings, and they're exercising their wings during that time.
Yep, so we were looking around in the treetops because eagles tend to have a nest that's 4 to 5 foot round and in the tops of large trees. So we were hoping to spot the nest, but with all the foliage, it's very green here this time of year, so with all the foliage, we weren't able to spot the nest. And they have signs everywhere marking eagles nesting areas, so you can't walk in there and trample the area that they're in, because you're supposed to keep way away from them nesting so you don't disturb them. So
good for you and good for the eagles.
Yes. Now we're headed down to the wetlands trail, which I'm assuming is going to run us along the Nanjemoy Creek, right along the waterfront.
This is a fairly easy, it's about a 1.5 mile trail. The Eagle Trail was just under a mile. Super easy, wooded a lot
Pretty
of the
flat.
ways. Yeah, lots of, it's right on the river, it's great. You can see eagles, osprey.
Red-winged blackbirds, don't forget the red-winged blackbirds.
I love my red-winged blackbirds.
So quick fun fact, something that we've noticed on our last several hikes in the area, or the size of some of these oak trees, due to the fact that these areas were never farmed because they're marshy and wet, the oak trees are extremely large. We were on another trail not too long ago, same situation. The oak trees were just enormous, and to the point where some of them have actually fulfilled their life cycle and have actually naturally fallen over. Some of them were 4, 5, even 6 foot at the base. That just goes to show you that undisturbed area allows these trees to grow to be above average size. And the average size for around here is about 1/3 of what you just saw, basically because land has been farmed, it's been built on, and the trees have, that were established were taken down and then have regrown to smaller sizes. So we're at another wildlife food plot, and in the background, as you can see here behind us, is a osprey nest. So we are going to sneak up and see if we can get a few close-ups for you guys. I believe the osprey is up there feeding young right now. They're not as skittish as the bald eagles, so the buffer zone is a little bit less, so we may be able to sneak up on them. So let's get down on our hands and knees and army crawl over to the osprey nest.
Some fun facts about osprey is that they migrate down to South America during the winter and fly all the way back up here, very much like the great blue heron, who also goes to Cuba and Central America in the winter. Here's a tip for you when you use AllTrails. Make sure you download the maps prior to getting where you're at, because sometimes you lose cell service in state parks, national parks, even county parks. So before we came here today, I made sure I downloaded all 3 trails that are here, and cell service right now is good, but it has been spotty. So that's your pro tip.
So we stumbled across an archaeological dig. This is obviously an old foundation of a house. They have the grid over there where they're going to continue to search. You can see a pile of brick over there, which was probably the exterior walls of the house. And over here you can see the sifted spoils.
So we are about a little more than halfway through our hike. And we wanted to just let you guys know that this area is right by our house, right by our Sticks and Bricks.
Probably less than 5 miles away.
And we never knew it was here. There's some really cool hiking trails here. We will have done all of them by the end of the day. There's bald eagles here. There are osprey, beavers, blue herons, all kinds of wildlife. So if you are coming to the Southern Maryland area, we highly recommend coming to this river park because there's really not that many people here, and it's just gorgeous.
As the trails are cut back, but they're not well worn, so it's not like there's a lot of activity. They're well defined, you can see them, but it's not all open. I mean, this is you're out in the woods really getting some hiking in.
Yeah,
so that's a good thing.
It's a nice mixture of fields and of wooded areas.
Right, some benches along the way to take a break. A couple of areas you're down on the waterfront, which is in Edgemoor Creek, and that's pretty cool to look at. And that's where we saw most of the bald eagles earlier flying around.
This is such a cool place to be because there's so much wildlife around. There's a mic behind us, but I can hear squirrels, chipmunks scampering in the woods, tons of birds. It's super peaceful and a fantastic way to start the day. One of the things I think is important when you're out hiking or out in nature is take a couple minutes and stop. Look up, look around, be quiet, and make sure, and we learned this from Traveling Robert, always make sure you take a minute and look behind you because there's always really cool things all around. Okay, that was fun.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
I think we are right at 3 miles.
Yep. We did all 3 trails they have here. There's the Eagle Trail,
the Wetlands Trail
and the Butterfly
and the
Trail.
Butterfly Trail and the Village Trail.
And the Village Trail,
I think
which is an extra little
the
trail.
Wetland and the Butterfly are together.
Right.
Great mix of shade, great mix of sun. If it's summer, I would suggest coming earlier in the morning. This is a free park to get into.
Yeah, we missed the prime coolness this morning by about 2 hours, I think. It started to get hot right as we were wrapping up, but wonderful place to go. Had a blast. It was, you know, the wildlife was terrific. The trails are fairly well maintained, even though some of them are barely worn. They're visible, but it's obviously there's not a lot of traffic through a lot of these trails that we went on today.
So if you're ever in Charles County, we highly recommend the Port Tobacco River Park.
Absolutely. It's a must-see.
All right, we're doing a tick check because this summer so far, summer 2023, we've had so many ticks. Port Tobacco State Park? No.
River.
Port Tobacco River Park, which is...
Got to bring your cool rays.
I have my Shady Rays. My Shady Rays, girls, pro tip, get you some Shady Rays. When you wear your hair up in a ponytail and you have aviators, you do this, what normally happens? Your hair comes out, not with Shady Rays. Your hair stays put. Eagle Trail, the Eagle Trail.
So this is what happens when you try to get footage of you walking away. Someone has to turn around and go back and get the camera. Guess who drew the short straw this time?
So Mike likes to be the jokester, and he says I drew the short straw for having to walk back, but this time he drew the short straw. So if you're in Charles County, Maryland, we highly recommend the Port Tobacco River Park.